Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 65th edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and my partner in crime, Trevion Ware, as we'll be going over our takes on the latest news and notes on the Alabama Crimson Tide, including our final takeaways from Auburn, injury updates. Do we necessarily need to win the SEC title game in order to get into the playoffs? That's all right here on Alabama at the Voice of College Football. And let me tell you something, folks. You're going to be in for a wild ride. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing good, doing good. Ready to get into all these topics we got going on this week. Important week this week, obviously, for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and ready to jump into it.
Oh, great. It's going to be awesome just going over it all right here. And before we get this show started, ready and rocking and rolling, it's time for Christmas shopping, and today is Cyber Monday. Man, there's a holiday for everything, isn't there, Trevion?
So yeah, we just had Black Friday on Friday. Now was Cyber Monday, so we got some stuff for you right here at the Voice of College Football on the Alabama channel here. You see, we got the hats, we got the shirts. Scrolling down here, we even got some of the mugs and cups. Looking for some holiday shopping, we got you right here on the Voice of College Football at the Alabama channel here.
There we go. Couldn't have said better myself. I got to tell you that was some amazing promotion, man. That was so awesome. Oh man. Well, we got some final takeaways from the Iron Bowl. And we saw Kalen DeVore speaking on the press conference after the game, and one of the things he talked about was why Ryan Williams was not there, why we didn't see him. Yeah.
Yeah, man, just some disappointment from the game on Saturday, not seeing Ryan Williams be much of a part of anything offensively. They him being the lowest receiver in snaps on this Alabama football team was surprising to many, and it just goes back to what a lot of people have been harping on this season, just the sophomore slump he's going through, and a lot of fans are now asking what's going on with Ryan Williams because the talent's there. We all know it. Last year he was one of the top receivers in college football, and now all of a sudden we're not seeing that. And we know that talent just doesn't just disappear out of nowhere. So like, what's really going on? And Kalen DeBoer, he uh, he kind of downplayed it in my opinion. He was basically saying the target shares and things of that nature. It wasn't intentional or anything like that. They just, what didn't see many opportunities in the passing game to get him involved. And I find that kind of hard to believe because, like I said, the talent's there. We know what he's capable of. All you gotta do is get the ball in his hands. You see a lot of former Alabama players, voicing their concern now, saying why is he getting any touches early on, and why aren't they scheming him? Is it an issue with Ryan Grubb in terms of getting the ball in his hands, or like really don't know because Ryan Grubb, he's a talented play caller, so I'm like we got have all the ingredients. I'm just really flabbergasted to see why they're not putting it together. It's been 12 games now. It's not early in the season. They've had enough time to iron out some of these wrinkles, and we just haven't seen that happen. So hopefully, in the postseason, especially against Georgia, Alabama's going to need it on offense. They can try to get Ryan Williams more involved, because that's definitely going to be important. Would definitely like to see him step up in this game, especially a game of this magnitude, the SEC championship. It'll be a great moment just to erase some of those concerns if we can see him have a big performance this week. But really just have to sit back and see at this point because, like we said, we all know it's there. It's just a matter of time when is it going to come out.
Yeah, and I was looking at this, I think sometime today or it was last night. But Kalen DeBoer is in good company with this victory over Auburn because, like, he's doing something that a lot of coaches couldn't do. Not even Nick Saban could do. Beat Auburn in his first trip there as head coach. And, like, we never saw Alabama play Auburn at Auburn under Bear Bryant, of course. Like, Bill Curry couldn't do it. Gene Stallings had a good 2-0 start against Auburn. DeBose didn't have a good start. He's 1-1, but his mind was on other things. Franchione on his first year at Bama, Alabama was just smacking Auburn off the face of the earth in 0-1 at Jordan Hare. We're calling it Jordan. We're not calling it Jordan. You got beat us first before we can do that, Auburn.
But yeah, it was good to see that Kalen DeBoer was able to go into a hostile environment up there in the plains and take care of business, especially considering what was on the line. We're seeing him be able to pull out games that they weren't able to pull out last year. Of course, they did beat Auburn last year, but some of the road struggles are going away now, and it looks like they're going to be on the road the rest of the way unless they can win the SEC championship because they got to go down to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and play Georgia. But if they were to beat Georgia, they would have that bye and potentially could host a playoff game in the second round. But overall, it's just good to see Kellen DeBoer get that group over the hump and to that 10-win mark, and now preparing for the postseason. So happy to see Kellen DeBoer do that. And plus, on top of that, Alabama had never beat Auburn three consecutive times inside of Jordan Hare. We're not going to call it Jordan, like you said, inside of Jordan Hare. And that was a program record because Alabama had never done that. So that was good that to see that happen under Kellen DeBoer's leadership, and just looking forward to see what he can lead the Crimson Tide to moving forward.
Well, and like this is like our longest winning streak against Auburn since I believe the 1970s to early 80s. Like that's pretty wild right there because like we were just smacking them off the face of the earth from 1973 to 81. And there again, Auburn's not gotten a single win against Bama since the start of the 2020s. And I say let's keep that up, ladies and gentlemen. And Rammer Jammer comes in the chat saying 31-time SEC champs. Let's go. You said it, Rammer Jammer. You said it.
Yeah, that's definitely what's at stake this week. Hoping that Alabama group can go down to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and take care of business versus Georgia because of course, Alabama has a good track record versus Georgia, and now they're underdogs in this game, and it's not surprising to me because Georgia has held their end of the bargain since that matchup in Week 4 in Athens, and they've gone on to win the rest of their games, but uh, just looking to see how this Alabama group can go down there and take care of business because that's going to play a big role in them getting into the college football playoffs. Later on, we're going to touch on in the show about does Alabama need to win to ensure their chances. I'm on the side that they do, but of course we're going to get into that later. So, but big week for sure for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh man. Like my favorite part of the Iron Bowl on Saturday night was that forced fumble. Justin Jefferson just forcing it. Like that was a huge one right there.
Yeah, and just seeing Bray Hubbard able to collect that fumble recovery, and then on top of that, just Bray Hubbard's play overall. He was the player of the game on defense for me uh, on Saturday. Just his energy and being able to make the plays that's needed and do those type of things. But some takeaways just offensively. Uh, I believe it was an anomaly, but we saw that passing game kind of struggle on Saturday, and of course that was due to some of that being not being able to get Ryan Williams involved. We saw Isaiah Horton make the plays necessary to help the Crimson Tide survive on offense, and Ty Simpson, being able to stand up there and make the throws, but still some stuff we're seeing offensively that they're struggling in, and now they're gonna be playing Georgia again, and that's a team that has gotten better since that game, as I stated before, and you can't have those type of lapses on offense that they had versus Auburn. So hopefully we can see that get cleaned up this week. That would be a good time, like I said, for a player like a Ryan Williams or Jeremy Bernard or Loxley Brooks or either or just a combination of the receiving game just to get it going because we did not see that Saturday, but of course the Crimson Tide had enough to pull over against Auburn. So hopefully we can see some improvement in that area. But overall, it was a good win on Saturday. They handled business, kept the streak alive as we stated earlier, and now the Crimson Tide are looking forward to the postseason. Hopefully,
Oh man, I'm excited about where we're heading. I'm glad that we're in the SEC title game. I'm glad that Auburn didn't spoil anything for us. We're still unbeaten against them in the 2020s. Let's finish out the decade getting unbeaten against Auburn. And don't you love it when you see days of where Alabama wins and Auburn loses and Tennessee loses? Like, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it was cool to see Vanderbilt take down Tennessee. That was that really did play a factor into the Alabama football's playoff chances, but it was good to see some of our rivals go down over the weekend. Oh yeah, and just to tally back on Kellen DeBoer, looking at his record over the last 2 years, his record is pretty similar to Nick Saban's. The first year didn't really have the success, but the second year getting his team into the SEC championship. So I think that speaks volumes on Nick Saban, and speaks volumes on Kellen DeBoer in the job he's been able to do just this year. Some of the ups and downs, but still getting this group to play hard and play up to their potential in most spots. So just really excited to see where this football team is headed, like you said.
Oh, man. It's going to be a wild ride on Saturday. That is for sure. But before we can go over some more news on the Crimson Tide and get ready for this holly jolly December, that's going to be a wild ride for Crimson Tide Nation. We got some voice college football bets we got to listen to from our guy Mark Rogers. All right, here.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
And it's all right here on the Voice College Football, where you can get top-notch bets from Mark Rogers, Steve Dace from Michigan Podcast, Corey Bratter from the Hawkeye of the Storm and Iowa Hawkeyes Live, Matt Zemek from USC, Trojan Primetime Live, Trojans Wire, and College Wire. And there's always those under-the-radar picks of the week from Steve Merrill, bringing that magic. All right, we've got some injury report updates we got to go over on Josh Cuevas and Jam Miller. And it's not looking good for Cuevas and Miller. And Brammer Jammer says he wished that Cuevas could play in this game, though. He's a game changer when he's on the field. Oh, no doubt. He is a X factor.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, like you said, it's not looking good on the part of Josh Cuevas or Jam Miller, particularly Josh Cuevas. Of course, we missed him in the Auburn game. He's been dealing with a lower ankle injury, and it's just not looking good. Kellen DeBoer said on the Crimson Tide, on the SEC coaches telecast yesterday that Josh Quavis doesn't look like he's going to travel with the team. He doesn't look like he's going to make the trip down to Atlanta, and that's just unfortunate because, like you said, X factor on offense, whether it's blocking up front, whether it's being able to be a safety net for Ty Simpson, being um, a weapon in the red zone. Just missing him on Saturday was a lot because I don't think they completed a pass to a tight end. I know they threw a pass to Marshall Pritchard on Saturday, and it was incomplete. I don't think they really could get that part of their offense going, and I thought they'd played a part in some of their struggles on Saturday. So just unfortunate to see that Josh Cuevas is not going to be suiting up for the Crimson Tide on Saturday in the SEC Championship. And with Jam Miller, it looks like that might be the case with him too. He's also dealing with a lower ankle injury, and uh, we saw him have maybe his best game in the second half of the season. I mean, he started out good in his return after missing the first couple of weeks with a collarbone injury, but he had kind of had fell off in the second half of the season, unfortunately, and he had been running hard. I mean, he was their leading rusher up until the point of him getting hurt. He had over 60 yards on the ground rushing, and he was hitting the hole hard. Kellen DeBoer said that was the best he had seen him look in quite some time. So just unfortunate to see that Jam Miller is going to be out just when he was getting his groove back. So but the Crimson Tide have had this next man up mentality all season, and they have the pieces on offense. It's just getting a matter of them to show up and play. But they have the pieces, so I'm confident in that regard. But it's just unfortunate to see those two individuals being out, especially with them being seniors. So sorry to see that.
Yeah, and it's like Rammer Jammer in the chat was saying, it's Nets man up, and we're already out Kevin Riley because he's hurting from that jaw injury against Eastern Illinois. But that's a
Yeah, but
bad.
they still have some other backs like a Daniel Hill. We saw them kind of use some of AK Deer versus Auburn. And they just have another back too. They have Dre Washington, and I don't know if they're going to be using Richard Young or not, but they also have him too. So they have other capable backs, but it's really just getting those backs, being getting them to play because they've been kind of been going by a running back by committee approach all season, and it's really just who's hot, because Daniel Hill was coming on hot a little bit coming into this game. He didn't get a lot of work this week, and I believe that was just because Jam Miller was having he was just had the hot hand in the running back room. But like I said, they have the pieces in the running back room to overcome that loss. So it's just about doing it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be cool to see Ackland Deer and Daniel Hill, like just bringing the magic, and just looking at our Nets man up for tight ends. Let's go ahead and look at who would be our Nets tight ends, shall we?
Yeah, it's Marshall Pritchard and Caleb Edwards for sure. I mean, they have Danny Lewis, but another a veteran tight end, but he's been hurt a little bit, a lot. I mean, he's been hurt for a majority of this year, to be honest. So, they kind of have to lean on some of the younger pass catchers. And Marshall Pritchard, he's a kid that definitely has the talent to fulfill that void that Josh Clavers has left. Caleb Edwards, he's been more of a serviceable. He's been more serviceable in the pass game this year, but both have caught passes and have blocked. So it's just a matter of doing it. Those are two young kids that haven't been in this moment. Both true freshmen, but they have what it takes. So it's just about Kellen DeBoer and Brian Ellis, the Alabama tight end coach, just coaching those guys up. Because I believe they can do it.
Well, and I'm wondering if we'll see Brody Dalton at any
Oh
point.
yeah, Brody Darden. Yeah,
Yeah,
we could see him. We saw him versus Eastern Illinois. He hadn't got a lot of opportunities this year, but when he did get opportunities, he was able to show some of his what he can bring to this Crimson Tide offense. We're talking about a senior. We're talking about I think he's a senior, but he was a transfer from Troy in Alabama. The Sun Belt, Troy. But he was serviceable, and he's a kid that has size and pass catching ability. So we could also see him too. So
oh man, it'll be fun to see what'll happen. Like on our Nets man up, and man, like our lads really needs to update the running back room. Really, they need to update it for sure. It's like good grief. I mean, I know we're not seeing Kevin Riley, but good lord. Oh, so do we, Rammer Jammer. So do we. We're ready to shut them down again. We're ready to shut those Bulldogs down. They've been bad dogs. So we're gonna go teach those Bulldogs to behave like the fight song says. Man.
yeah,
But
but you just look at some of the Alabama and Georgia's some of the history to run it down for some of the fans that don't know. This is the fifth time that Alabama is matching up against Georgia in his SEC championship game since 2018. Alabama is 4-0 versus Georgia, so they do have that. It's a lot of it's just like a psychological thing that they have over Georgia. Kevin DeBoer is 2-0 versus Kirby Smart, and Georgia's 1-7 versus Alabama in the last 9 years, I believe. So um, Alabama has what it takes to win. They are an underdog in this game. I think they're a 6.5 underdog, but Kellen DeBoer has a knack for getting his team to show up in big spots. So I don't expect anything less than that on Saturday, especially them knowing a college football playoff spot is potentially on the line.
well, and we should be able to see Jeremy Bernard. Obviously, like we should see him because we saw him last week, and
Yeah, yeah. You keep going, Jake. My bad.
yeah, we should be able to see him like we saw him last week. Go ahead, Trevion.
Yeah, we saw him last week, but of course, the passing game isn't what we're accustomed to seeing it be. So I wouldn't really read too much in about his inactivity in the passing game last week because we didn't see anybody much get it going outside of Isaiah Horton. So I'm looking for Jeremy Bernard to be a big X factor in this matchup, as he was in the first matchup versus Georgia in Week 4 in Athens. Um, of course, Ryan Williams, like we said, he has to be also a factor. Jeremy Bernard was a factor. Isaiah Horton was a factor in that game in Week 4. Ryan Williams had his opportunity to be a factor in that game. He had about 40 yards in that game, but of course, I remember the opening play. Ty Simpson took a shot to him in the first game, and we saw him drop the ball. So Alabama has the weapons to beat this Georgia defense. It's just about them doing it. That's the thing I just keep saying. Like I know they can do it. It's just about them doing it. But they have that winning streak over Georgia, and I just hoping that they can keep it going.
Oh yeah, I think we can make that winning streak continue against Georgia. We can definitely do that. But before we get to our next point on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, we'd like for you to mention that you can shop on Amazon using the link to support the Voice of College Football. You don't need to buy the product displayed; it doesn't cost you a penny, and you get the same shopping experience. And you got the Amazon link right down below, right next to you. You know you're shopping on there, so might as well. You can definitely use that Voice of College Football code anytime you're shopping on Amazon. It's all right there. And we got Mikey G in the chat. What he was asking, why did Vandy win at Tennessee 45-24 and drop in the rankings?
It's because Texas won. and Vandy didn't beat Texas, and Texas was able to knock off Texas A&M, and they were able to jump up a little bit. And we saw some teams lose in the ACC and stuff like that. But Vanderbilt, they've been a credible team this year. They 10-2. Only losses coming from Texas and Alabama. So they also have a case to make the college football playoff, but really just depends. But as far as them dropping, I believe that they should be a little bit more up. But like I said, we did see the Texas Longhorns get a good win this week, so that might have a lot to do with it.
Oh, here we go. I hope that's not true, Godfather. But he says, I heard Ryan Williams headed to LSU. Have you heard? I don't
No, I
think.
have not.
No,
No,
he's not.
I mean I saw fake rumors on Twitter. You know, that's just what's gonna happen around this time, especially moving into December with the portal opening back up and things of that nature. But no, I don't believe Ryan Williams is going to even try to go to LSU, even with Lane Kiffin over there. I mean, he got the Alabama tattoo tatted on him. He's an Alabama kid. Don't think he would do that. Don't see him doing that. That's why you can't really believe everything you see on social media because a lot of people, got a lot of free time, so they're gonna make a lot of rumors, especially around this time of year. But no, that's throw that out the window. That's not happening.
Oh man, like that. Yeah, that's not happening. He's not. He's not a diva like Lane Kiffin is. So that's a no. And we got Pit Snipe Husker coming in the chat. We've got Rammer Jammer Godfather SEC in the chat. Benjamin in the chat. We've got everybody. We've got everybody. Gaines all here. Husker says, "Good evening, fellas. Scooch over, Waylon. I'm a climb on this Tide bandwagon. I'll pre-post." That's funny, man. That's funny. Well, we've got the YouTube membership in the chat. You want to come on in and become a YouTube member of Alabama with the Voice of College Football? You're more than welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody that wants to come in is more than welcome. Alrighty, so this is the question we've been really thinking about. Does Alabama have to win the SEC title game to ensure they are a playoff team for the 2025 season?
Hmm. I got an answer.
Let's
I
hear it.
believe they do. I honestly believe they do because they haven't afforded. I mean, they don't have any more space. They don't have a margin for error. They got to the 10 win mark of 10-2, but uh, they still have other teams around the country, closely ranked to them because you got BYU, who is Alabama's number 10 in the rankings. BYU is number 11 in the rankings, and they're 11-1. Alabama's 10-2. If BYU goes down to goes to the Big 12 championship and they beat Texas Tech, that could be a problem for Alabama because Texas Tech is number 5 in the country, and they were to lose. They're 11-1 as well. If they were to lose, they would still be in the top 10 more than likely, but they would drop down. And obviously, if BYU were to win, they could overjump Alabama with them losing. That could be two Big 12 teams in the college football playoffs at the casualty of Alabama. So that's one reason why I believe that they must win over Georgia to ensure their spot. Another reason is just because we've seen this college football playoff committee be inconsistent with how they rank teams and things of that nature. They got a whole problem in the ACC right now, talking about Notre Dame and Miami. Uh, uh, Miami already beat Notre Dame this year, and Notre Dame has been ranked over them because they haven't lost since. And that's also another problem that could come into be coming to be a problem for Alabama is how they rank that situation. And the best thing to do is just win because if they win, they don't have to worry about anything. If they win, they could jump up as far as the number 3 seed in the college football playoffs and get that home bye, and they don't have to worry about all of this crazy stuff that got to happen. Plus, my last point on it, we haven't seen a 3-team college football. Uh, we haven't seen a 3-loss team in the college football playoffs. Last year, Alabama was a three-loss team, and they didn't make it. Of course, they didn't have the resume that they have now, and then on top of that, they don't play an extra game and stuff like that in the conference championship. We got the Texas Longhorns that just who I mentioned earlier. They just beat Texas A&M, so they're 9-3, and they have a case to try to make the college football playoffs. They don't have a better case than Alabama, but that would just be you would just fall in that category with Texas, and you don't want to be in that category. I think winning out is just the best method overall for the Alabama Crimson Tide this Saturday inside the SEC championship, so they can ensure themselves a spot in the college football playoffs. So.
Well, we had that head-to-head win over Vanderbilt, so that obviously keeps us in. So that really helps.
Yeah, but then they have the group of five, the group of five in other conferences. That could be a James Madison, that could be a Texas Tech, and they gotta honor that. That's something the committee put in place to, try to make it more interesting for all fan bases across college football. And Alabama could be left out. They could be a casualty just because a group of five team is like they could be 11-1 versus a 10-3 Alabama team or a 12-1 group of five team versus a 10-3 Alabama team. Both James Madison and Texas Tech are both 11-1. Alabama is 10-2. So a group of five team could reap the benefit of Alabama losing. So you don't want to even be in that scenario. That's why I think this important is. I think this week is really important. I definitely believe they have to win because, like I said earlier, that we haven't seen a loss team in the college football playoff. The floor has obviously been 10-2 or higher, so they got to win. Third loss definitely sinks their chances.
Well, we definitely don't want to be losing to Georgia, obviously, no doubt. And it's just such a cluster. This whole playoff field, like, oof, like the ACC champ alone. Like, if Duke was winning the ACC,
And that's crazy.
I know
Duke
it.
is Duke is 7-5, and the fact that they have a chance to play in the college football playoffs with a win, they would get the automatic bid for the ACC, and they would get a first round bye at 8-5 versus Alabama being 10-3 and being left out. I mean, that's the spot that the college football landscape has been in. With the expansion of the college football playoffs, they're still trying to get it right on year two. It's unfortunate that that has to happen, but that's the world that we live in. So Alabama, I just like I said, they got to take advantage of what's in front of them. They have beaten this Georgia team before. Kellen DeBoer has 2-0 versus Kirby Smart, so they got to win honestly because we got other teams that could potentially reap the benefit of them losing, literally. So and plus on top of that, they're on the bubble anyway. They're the number 10 ranked team in the country. It's only 12 spots. Basically, 6 teams have already clinched their spots. I mean, not officially, but they're clinched it. Indiana, Ohio State, Texas Tech could be in even if they lose. Texas A&M is going to be in. Ole Miss is going to be in. So that's already 5 teams right there. It's 12 spots. So and on
Georgia's
top,
in either way.
yeah, Georgia's in either way. That's enough. See, so Georgia's in either way. So Alabama's got to win. You know, you don't want it to be Selection Sunday and you depended on the committee to give you the nod.
No.
Alabama was in that spot last year, and we saw how that played out. But then again, we've seen some committee saying that they won't punish the conference championship loser. It just depends on how they play the game, if they play them close or not. But you just want to win. You want to win, so you don't have to put it in the hands of nobody else. You win, you're in. You lose, that's a frustrating 12 to 20 hours. Because the championship game is Saturday at 6 o'clock, selection Sunday the next day. So that's
Yeah,
the
I mean, like, if this game is going to overtime, then I think obviously we're in. I think we're in, but it's like you said, you don't want to put that in the committee's hands where you're hoping you're in, just crossing your fingers, closing your eyes, hoping that you're in. But
Yeah,
also, we're win and you're in. That's pretty much simple. It's like how it was last Saturday. Win against Auburn, you're in the SEC title game. This Saturday, it's win and you're in. You lose, you can still get in, but once again, don't put it in the committee's hands. Like if you're the SEC title runner up or the Big Ten title runner up, you're in. The Big 12 title runner up, the AC title runner up does not have that luxury. But once again, don't put yourself in a position where you're hoping that members of the committee are going to put you in. Don't put yourself in a position like take the doubt out of the committee's hands.
yeah, and another interesting thing, it'll be interesting to see how the college football committee ranks Notre Dame tomorrow versus Alabama. Alabama, they finished at 10-2. Notre Dame finished at 10-2. Notre Dame has been over Alabama the last 2 weeks, but we saw some teams in front of them losing stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see how they'll rank that. Alabama has a stronger resume than Notre Dame, and a lot of people have pointed that out. It's really been a game to see how close Miami can get to Notre Dame to see if they can be in the same cluster because we've seen the college football committee use that term cluster. How can these teams be in the same cluster? So um, it's really going to be interesting to see how Alabama ranks and where Texas A&M drops because Texas A&M lost. They were at number 3, so I would believe no. I would believe Ole Miss would benefit because Ole Miss was right behind them and Ole Miss won. So Texas A&M probably falls to 7. Um, Oklahoma won. Oklahoma's going to be ahead of Alabama. That is what that
That's
is.
another lock.
Yeah, yeah. Oklahoma is another lot. So you see, the spots are dwindling down. So Alabama, them winning. The question of them is, should that does Alabama have to win to ensure a playoff to ensure they're a playoff team? I'm about 97, 98% sure yes. Unless, like you said, the game goes to overtime or they lose on like a field goal or like a last second crazy play or something like that. I believe Alabama has to win outright. Like you said, don't want to put in the hands of the committee at all. We don't trust these people. I don't trust these people at all. So
Yeah.
that's where I am at with it.
There you go, man. There you go. Don't put it in the committee's hands. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Cause
And
you saw the committee Hunter I forget his last name Hunter you know what I'm talking about the
Hunter Yurachek.
yeah Hunter Yurchek. He made the six
Oh,
seven joke, man. It's all a joke to
oh
them,
my
man. That's
God!
what I'm
He
saying, man.
took away. They massacred my boy, the 6 and 7 Joe.
That's terrible, man.
That's
It was not
why.
funny. It was in poor taste. You are not funny. So like, don't want to put it in the hands of those type of people that like to make jokes. Like, it ain't funny, bro. This is a serious time. So, and then the logic that they have behind why they're ranking the teams, why they're ranking, is very questionable. Everybody has pointed out week after week. So, don't want to put it in their hands at all. So, Alabama is important week for them this week. Go down there into Mercedes-Benz Stadium and beat those Georgia Bulldogs. We know we can do it. It's just about doing it.
Ugh, man. I hate that guy Yurchek. I hate that guy. I mean, he took away the joke that was created by South Park. He took it away. But no worries for bringing it back though. Ugh. Like he's an incompetent athletic director, and he's part of this committee. Like I'm gonna see how long. I'm gonna see how long this turd has. Okay,
I'm dead.
okay. If
I know he's with Arkansas right now. He's the AD at Arkansas, but
oh
just
man,
the committee as a whole. I had a problem with the committee last year. I mean, even though Alabama didn't make it, I just had a problem with their reasoning overall. But I don't see any improvement for them this year. So it's just like, man, Those people.
Okay, so that Yurchek guy's term is ending after 2026, 2027. So one more year of that turd, and he's going bye bye to the bye bye. You're not going to be part of the
Man, but
committee anymore.
Man, but then the field might be 16, 20 teams. They trying to expand the field. I don't like the reasoning behind that either. That's too many teams. But that's another topic for another day. But they try, man. It's no telling what changes he might be able to get off before he's out of his term. So,
Man,
but like you said, you win. You don't gotta even worry about what he got to say. So hopefully Alabama can control their own destiny.
oh man. I think Alabama's playing Arkansas next year. I'm not sure, but let me double check for 2026. Oh no, we're not playing in 2026, but
No,
in
because
20.
they just made the SEC rule where you got to play your rivals and remember they did that recently. I forgot what that was called. 'Cause they were trying to decide they're gonna add a ninth conference game, but Alabama already has their schedule made out. I think they only play uh LSU, Auburn, and do they play Ole Miss? I'm not sure. They
Yes,
play,
I
yeah, it
believe
was
they're
a
back to.
yeah.
No, they're not playing Ole Miss next year,
No,
but they
oh,
are
it was
playing
Tennessee. It was Tennessee, and it was somebody else. I'm.
Mississippi State.
Oh yeah, they play Mississippi State. Okay, yeah, I knew it was a Mississippi team. Okay, okay.
Well, I will say this though: if Yurchek is still the AD for Arkansas in 2027, man, Arkansas is going to be in for a beatdown. Like his last name. We shouldn't be calling him Yurchek. I call him Urine Check.
Yeah.
He's too in. Yeah, he's like good grief. But we've got our take on Jamarcus Shepard leaving Alabama for Oregon State, becoming the Nets head coach of Oregon State. I gotta admit, Oregon State got a great man in Shepard. I'm sad that he's leaving Alabama, but we figured that day was coming. What did you think when you heard the news, Trevion?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm echoing the same sentiments that you echoing that Oregon State definitely got the dude for the definitely got the guy for the job. Jamarcus Shepard has been nothing but a great addition for the Alabama football team since he's been on the Alabama football team. Since he's been on the staff, he's been able to bring light to the receiver room and been able to develop some good receivers in his time at Alabama. He showed great leadership overall, and he was really one of the good coaches on the staff. Just overall, just as a person, just everything. So I'm just happy that he's getting that opportunity in the Mountain West. Good opportunity for him. Uh, you see a lot of fans that have mixed emotions about it, but hey, you got to start somewhere. So I'm happy that he's getting that opportunity to really showcase what he can do, and also saw that he's bringing over Alabama's. I think it was one of their assistant general manager. His name was Hodges. He's bringing him over, so I'm just happy to see that he's getting that opportunity to lay his foundation over there in Corvallis.
Man, yeah, because and I saw that he was taking a few staff members with him: Aaron Hodges, Mitch
Yes.
Dallin, and Tori Gill.
Yeah, I know Aaron Hodges is supposed to be their GM. Tori Gill is supposed to be their receiver coach, I believe. So just seeing him being able to get the job and being able to take a few pieces with him, that's good to see. You never want to see anybody leave Tuscaloosa, but like we said, Jamarcus Shepard, that's a good coach, a good man, a good leader. So just happy to see him getting that opportunity. But I also saw that Kellen DeBoer said that he was still with the team. I mean, he was welcomed in Corvallis today, but he was still with the team for the SEC championship game. They're gonna keep him around to the season's end, I believe. I'm not sure if that's exactly the case, but Kevin DeBoer said that he was still going to be with the team. So that just shows you right there that the type of coach that he is, for them to still want to retain him for as long as they can and get his coaching expertise out for what they have left in front of them. So overall, I'm just happy for Coach Shepard and excited to see what he can do in the Mountain West. But happy that he can still help us in the time that he's still here.
Oh yeah. The Pat-12, which is more like at this point the Pat-12 minus 10 plus sits. Really, if anybody can get Oregon State rocket rolling, it's definitely Jamarcus Shepard, and I know I'll be pulling for him to succeed in Corvallis, but just as long as he's not going against Bama, he's good there.
Yeah. And we also saw some other culture news. We saw, of course, Kane Warmack's been a candidate for the Arkansas job. Arkansas officially hired another candidate today. So, I mean, of course, we want to see all Alabama coaches get their opportunity to be the man at a campus, at a school, lead a program. But good to see that nobody's pooching any more of our coaches off. We saw Coach some other coaches be candidates for other jobs. Maybe Coach Mo Linguist on the defense and things of that nature. But right now, just happy that they're able to retain who they're able to retain, and like I said, still got Coach Shepard for the time being that we have him until the season is over with. So
Oh
those are good
yeah.
things there.
Well, and I know like some of the chats a little sore about him leaving Alabama, but I look at it this way: at least he's not leaving for Auburn or Tennessee. So it's like we're good there. It's like,
Yeah. Plus, on top of that, you always want to see somebody get opportunity. You always want to see somebody elevate. So he's elevating. He's first opportunity to be a head coach. He was a receivers coach, and he's going to head coach. A lot of those opportunities don't come around often. So the fact that he's been able to be recognized as someone that can lead a college football program, I think that speaks volumes to the type of coach and person that he is. So anytime opportunity comes along those lines to a person like that, you always want to see them succeed. So I'm wishing nothing but the best for Coach Shepard for sure.
oh man, like it's gonna be a fun ride for the Oregon State Beavers, because like they're gonna be rolling. Just
I bet they get better just under his leadership in at least a season. I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say nothing crazy, but I bet his the addition of Jamarcus Shepard will be nothing but a good thing for Oregon State. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that for sure. So they definitely got the right man for the job, and like I said, I wish nothing but the best for him. Happy that he's getting his opportunity, and also happy that him and Kellen DeBoer are still able to work together in the time that he's still here in Tuscaloosa.
oh, I bet Kalen's gonna give him a few pointers on how to upset Oregon. Like that's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah,
Oh man, it's gonna be fun seeing that. And just looking at Oregon State for next year, like the Pac-12 schedule is gonna be nuts. Like I still cannot believe Oregon State, Texas State is a conference game. This is
yeah,
crazy.
they in the Mountain West now. They done created their own thing over there. I mean, it's all right. Got Boise State over there, but I think it's a decent conference for him to create his own thing in Corvallis. So, like I said, just excited for him.
Oh yeah, we're pulling for you all the way, Shepard. Go win a Pac-12 title at Oregon State, good buddy. Go win a Pac-12 title. We're pulling for you all the way. Travion's pulling for you. I'm pulling for you. We're all pulling for you. Just don't be going against Bama during your tenure, which we know you won't be able to. But if Oregon State does somehow go against Auburn in a bowl game or Tennessee, which I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, We'll be pulling for those Beavers all the way. Oh man. And lastly, to end the show, I just want to ask, how are you feeling about the 2026 recruiting class entering National Signing Day? Well, the first edition of it, which will be on Wednesday, and then the second edition is on the 4th of February, I believe.
Oh, me, I'm excited about it. Just seeing that Kellen DeBoer is able to get another class under his belt, I believe that's just more important because now we're seeing him being able to get more of the caliber players that he's recruiting from the offensive line. Getting that roster turnover as we see some of these players that we have on this roster, go to the NFL or uh, you know, um, going to the next stage of their career. But the fact that he's able to get this strong class in, I believe that's a big deal for sure. Alabama has always having one of the top ranked classes. I'm trying to see who headlines that class. They have a lot of talent in that class, but I believe it's going to be Isaiah Correll, the running back that they have. From the local running back. I forget what school that is. I'm not an Alabamian, so I don't really pay attention to a lot of high school football. But Isaiah Correll has been on my radar for months. So to
Ooh.
get a running back in like that, especially with the struggles that they've had in the run game this season, and to have a dynamic player like
Oh
that
yeah,
headline the class,
Jackson, Alabama, where we
yeah,
got a David Crowell from Jackson High School.
yep. And the fact that they're going to be able to get him on board soon this week, I believe signing day is Wednesday, right? Get
Mhm.
him on board Wednesday. That's just going to be big for sure. And, also, just to see Kane Warmack also get some of his guys on the defensive end in recruitment from the JUCO level to the high school level, and what he's been able to build in his second year defensively. I believe that's important too. So I'm excited about the class. I'm excited about what Kevin DeBoer is able to bring to Tuscaloosa and how he's continued just to help Alabama in recruiting because a lot of people are saying that Alabama's going to fall off when they lost Nick Saban, but he's been able to keep the train rolling. So I'm excited to see what this class brings for sure.
Well, on our Christmas Eve commit, Zaya Gibson gave a we had a little scare for a moment because we thought we were worried he was decommitting for Bama for a moment, but Hayes Fawcett made the mistake. He's like, okay, my bad, I got the information wrong. He's not decommitting for Bama, and I was like, what a relief! Like Zion Gibson is staying at Bama. He is good to go, and he is going to be officially signing on with Alabama on National Signing Day.
Yeah, we talking about a four-star, a five-star cornerback, one of the best cornerbacks in his class. Kalen DeBoer able to get him to come on board for sure. Him and Tramel Edwards, that's another cornerback that they have, getting able to join this class on the defensive side of the ball, and that's just what we see in this day and age of college football, especially in the recruiting ranks. That type of scare, that's kind of typical, But the fact that they were able to get him back on board and get him to put the pen to paper on this week, that's going to be important, because Alabama's losing Damani Jackson, but they still have a talented cornerback room, so he's going to be able to add to it. Edmonds going to be able to add to it, so just a good class all around that they're bringing in on defense and offense. So just really excited to see these new additions this week for sure.
Oh man, it's gonna be a wild ride on National Signing Day. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, it's. I have no words for this. I'm so excited about National Signing Day.
Oh yeah, and it's also flip season because we're seeing a lot of commits. The week of signing, we've seen it in years past. A lot of commits wait to National Signing Day to make their decision. On top of that, and I brought up flip season because we saw a receiver from Ole Miss. His name is Corey Barber, I believe. He decommitted from Ole Miss when Lane Kiffin officially made his decision to go to LSU. And Alabama was also high on his radar. So to get a kid like a Corey Barber, a five-star receiver, um, I'm not sure if he's from Alabama or not. I got to do more of my research on him, but a five-star receiver just decommitted from Ole Miss, and Alabama was high on his radar. So got to keep eye out on that. So with signing day, flip season also plays a factor. So could see some magic there for the Alabama Crimson Tide in that regard. But a big week ahead for Alabama for sure.
Oh, great. Got a wild week ahead. But I will say, though, we've got some fun coming your way on Alabama with the Voice College Football. We will be joined by the Georgia guys. We're still, we may move it a day behind. We don't know yet, but we're getting the schedule figured out for this week. But we'll let you know for sure. You know, we're kind of just like getting everything all figured out because we're gonna make this preview happen. We made it happen before, and we'll make it happen again. We will be joined by Matt Green and Bo Underwood once again on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And Trevion, what magic have you got cooking this week, good buddy?
Magic I got cooking up, man. Looking at some of this college basketball, looking at some of this college football, looking at some of the transfer portals. The transfer portals getting ready to hop on, so I'm doing some of my research there, looking to see what some of the players Alabama could get, some of the losses they could take, and things of that nature. Also, just looking at some of these conference championship games, seeing what scenarios could affect Alabama and things of that nature. So, just a good time overall, and just excited for what this week brings from signing day to conference championship weekend. So excited.
There we go. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashier's pubs about the magic that Trevion creates on Tware1K on /Twitter. I can tell you right now, he's got some hilarious comments, especially on Lane Kiffin. Uh, and Kip, which, oh man, like that was better than my comment, honestly, about Kiffin, where I said he's like the Joker of the SEC, and Ole Miss is basically the Harley Quinn of the SEC.
And that whole Lane Kiffin fiasco finally played out yesterday. I made a little joke about how Ole Miss put his clothes in the street, right? And I basically said Ole Miss is saying he's for the streets now because the journalist at Ole Miss kind of had a rough weekend this week, even though I believe he was right. It was a journalist at Ole Miss that made a reference, a metaphor about Lane Kiffin and what his decision leading up and before he ultimately chose LSU, he was saying that can't turn to a housewife, hold to a housewife, and Lane Kiffin took offense to that, and we all saw how that played out over the weekend. And
Oh,
for Ole Miss to do that, that was hilarious to me. So yeah,
and he
so
got real mad at the guy who was making that comment after the Ed Bowl. Like he was wanting to go face him down, and he has those little state troopers behind him.
yeah,
You got your
yeah,
little cavalry.
yeah, you already protected. They gave that reporter a lot of grief, but I think overall he was right because we saw how it panned out. If you want to stay at Ole Miss, you can stay at Ole Miss, but he made this decision. He Alabama will be facing LSU next week. I mean next year in Baton Rouge, so he'll get a first taste of losing to Alabama, losing to Calendar Board. He hasn't faced Calendar Board, so we'll be able to see.
This is one time I will actually pull for Tennessee next year. Like, yeah, against LSU. I'm gonna be pulling for Tennessee to win and Ole Miss to win because I just want to see the Lane Kiffin LSU era just kind of fall flat on its face a little bit. Like, because it's so funny. Like, he's such a tough guy. He's such a tough guy that he needs state troopers with him to confront a reporter because because the reporter said something about you that you didn't like on one of his podcasts. Like, ugh, that is not. I mean, it's like he should have just talked with him man to man, in my opinion. But I mean, oh well. Lane Kiffin's a turd. Don't come to Bama. That's what I say.
Yeah, he can't come back to Bama. Luckily, we
No,
got Kalen DeBoer, so
exactly. So there we go. And of course, you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I've got some episodes of the Jackson coming your way, and I've got a logo update on my channel. And of course, you can check me out on SEC at the Voice College Football in just a little bit, 7:30 p.m. Central, where I'll be joined by Samuel Recker from College Football with Sam, discussing the latest headlines in the SEC. And for more updates, what I've got going on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, SEC at the Voice of College Football, the Jacksonian, check me out on JatsVOCFP on X/Twitter and on Instagram. There's JatsJots543-908. And with that being said, thank you very much, Godfather. Great show tonight. Voice of College Football foam finger. That being said, we wish you all a happy Monday night. We will be seeing you soon. Stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out. We've got a party planned this week for all of you. And with that, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever, and share it with all your friends and family. We'll be seeing you soon. And roll
Roll
Tide.
Tide.